Hey guys, so my presentation was on phones or laptops and whether they're the next best learning tool or not. The reason why I chose this is because I wanted to know if laptops were a good tool to have like in a class lecture, especially if it's in a college course or in a middle school computer lab. Are they good for note taking or doing papers on, or is it just another way to distract yourself? And our phones the same, and our phones a good way for sources, or is it just a distraction tool? We'll find out. So, like I asked, are phones and laptops a good way to take notes and find research in a classroom setting? Well, when students have a lot of access to technology, it will increase their learning by how well they're using it. Like, like I said, for a class lecture, you're gonna take notes, research on a topic that you don't really know much about. Like college kids will tend to do that. They'll take notes on their laptops. They'll research about a topic that they want to know more about, or a paper they're doing. They will use a smart usage of time. But for middle schoolers, and they're going to probably use it for the wrong purposes, more playtime than work time. So young kids will use laptops, like I said before, play instead of work, because they're so focused on having a distraction. They don't want to do the work for school because they're surfing websites. Their focus is very little drawn to their assignments for school, so and their grades sink lower because of that decision. And if they wonder why their grades are sinking lower, it's because they're surfing websites, probably at their home computers, not really at school. Because at school, you would know if your students are on a wrong site, because you have teachers who are watching you every move on that. Now, an article that I looked at, these two economists of Duke University gave middle school students networked computers which tracked their academic progress. And for 5 years, the students of reading and math skills were assessed and recorded for how they use their time and spending to use it. And between 5th and 8th graders, using a home computer declines in their score because of website surfing, and they're not focused on assignment completion because they want to focus on the play and not the work, which means it's a distraction at home. So at home they have to find a way to get rid of that distraction at home, because if they keep surfing sites at their home computer, they're going to keep getting bad results, and they do not want to have that outcome all the time. So because young kids have this play aspect instead of work, teachers should give out more hands-on activities like group work or one-on-one sessions with physical activities. That's going to help them get their mind off of the play aspect and work aspect, because when you're in a group with other students or your teacher, you do an activity that is focused on an assignment, that will get their mind off of the play and more on the work. It's what I did when I was in middle school. Or elementary. I got off the play, and with group work, it helped me develop a bigger appreciation for the work aspect. And since students learn differently, teachers should adapt their lesson plans to each of their students so it can suit their needs of how they want to. And teachers could also they could teach their students to use laptops the proper way in middle school or elementary, so they can get a sense of what it's like to have that have that tool used the right way instead of the wrong way. And freeing up teachers' time is an advantage for them, because it helps them focus on their students more, which should definitely happen. If teachers free up their time, they focus on their students and the assignments, and they can help their students out way more. So if we do this, younger kids will get a better idea of how to use a laptop when they adult, because they'll understand the work aspect more often because they were taught the right way when they were younger. And when you're taught something at a young age and you're taught the right way of how to use it, you'll know the right way, you'll know what the right way and wrong way is of using that tool, because you realize that before it was like a tool of play, but as you do more papers and research topics, you'll realize that, oh, this is a tool that I can use to help me in a class, lecture, or classroom setting, which will work when used properly for a tool like laptop. I know that school is a priority, a number one priority for a lot of people, and it can give stress for many kids, and they need an escape. So their choice will be to go to their phones immediately, because that's fun to them, and it's a way to escape the bad work aspect. So Pokemon Go is where you catch these little monsters, and it sounds fun because you're moving around, you're going outside, you're catching these monsters, you're not sitting in one spot, you're being active, which is good, because for young kids you have got to be active because you have so much energy in you. And with this game, even though you're catching monsters, it helps trigger your brain's mechanisms of problem solving and critical thinking, because as you grow up, you're going to need to know how to problem solve and critical think. So playing a game that helps you with functions like this, that can give you a good boost in how to solve a difficult problem, or to think of something solution and come up with a way to address the solution. It can help your brain figure out what it needs to figure out with whatever solution you come up or problem you come across. Now, according to the American Pediatrics Academy, children will spend 7 hours interacting with media on the screen, which is not healthy for them, because you want kids to go out, do more, go for a run, do sports. They have a ton of energy and they do not want to waste it on media, because when they look back on this, they're going to realize that they should have done more exercise than played. So, and plus they need a limit on screen time, because if they don't have a limit on screen time, it'll be hard for parents to get their attention for their kids. So you have to really be strict when it comes to their parenting. Thank you all for listening.